Welcome back to another episode of the Cruise Conversations podcast. I'm Michael.
And I'm Frank.
And today we're sitting down with our friend Blake to preview our upcoming Allure of the Seas sailing. Let's jump into it.
All right, so we have a special guest today, Blake. We're super excited to talk about our Allure of the Seas. Is it Allure or Allure? We got to get this straight early on.
I say
Allure.
Allure.
Okay, we're going to go with Allure.
Allure of the Seas.
We got Allure of the Seas coming up in the next week or so we're really excited about that cruise. We're going to dive into all you need to know about that. But before we do, we've got some cruise news. It's been a while since we've done cruise news. Celebrity, they just ordered a brand new ship. This is the 6th Edge class ship. Jason Liberty said that each ship in this award-winning series has set a new standard for the industry. I'm personally excited to see what they come up with. 6th ship, I'm sure that they're going to be changing some things about the design.
Yeah.
It's already like a revolutionary class, so super excited about that. And then they also, for the Excel, it actually just floated out of dry dock back on the 18th. They're actually doing this really cool thing through social media and kind of like a survey where guests are going to be able to experience some of the 7 new experiences on board their new ship, like the menu items, different beverages that are offered, as well as some of the shows and design elements. And I believe that they're going to be like getting feedback from the guests, right,
yeah.
Michael, on some of these and like kind of seeing how it goes for the Excel ship that's coming out later this year. So really, really excited about that. Celebrity's doing a lot as always, and we'll have to kind of see what comes with that 6th Edge class ship in 2028. I'm excited about that.
Well, the next piece of news we have to jump into right now is MSC's focused growth here in the United States. You know, obviously we have the MSC World America launching later this spring for Miami. And I mean, there's just a lot more behind this ship, right? They're building a new terminal in Miami that's going to have shore power. They're building a new terminal in Galveston, Texas, and going to be launching a ship out of there later this year, and then bringing a second ship to Canaveral. So they're really upping the number of ships here in the States. They've already announced that they're going to be sailing Alaska next year.
That's huge.
In 2026. And putting a ship out sailing from Seattle. But I mean, obviously a lot of their marketing right now is going into the World America. You know, they've revealed a lot of the new features and amenities the ship's going to have. You know, a new sports bar, a comedy club, the first Eataly at sea, which I guess is pretty big.
That is pretty awesome. I mean, for us, Eataly is in like a lot of the big cities. They have them in Italy, but then the one that's probably closest to us is like New York City. I think maybe Chicago has one. But really, really cool kind of Italian. It's also like on land. It's a place where you can buy like food as well. So they serve like pasta, but you can actually go and eat there as a restaurant, or you can take stuff back like a grocery store. So it's kind of cool that they have that.
I'm glad we have you as our resident Italian here.
Yeah. You have to have one for every podcast, right?
All right, Frank, our last piece of news actually has to do with Allure of the Seas. What can you tell us about the dry dock that's about to take place?
Yeah, I believe Blake sent us over the link. They finally announced what they're going to be doing for this project. Kind of interesting, right? So $100 million. Obviously, this is going to be after we're on board. So we're going to get to see kind of like the last, I think we're like one of the last people in the States to actually see Allure of the Seas as is, but $100 million is going into it. The crazy statistic is that there's 14,000 activities or items that they're working on, I guess part of their work plan over a span of 42 days. I think we came up with like, I forget how many exactly, like over 300, 400 per day that they're actually doing on board the ship, whether that's, you know, painting walls or, you know, installing a new restaurant. Like there's all different sizes of those activities, but there's a lot that needs to be done in a short period of time. This is part of the dry dock that was scheduled, but then postponed due to COVID. Part of the Royal Amplification program that they're doing to kind of bring more life to their ships, kind of new, new pool areas, new bars, restaurants. Some of the things that we'll have on Allure of the Seas later this year is a laser tag, escape room. The Ultimate Abyss slides are also adding the other slides as well. And then the resort-style pool with the lime and coconut, some new kids' spaces, part of the teens club area. Pesky Parrot mason jar would actually be the largest mason jar in the fleet, which is really cool. El Loco Fresh, which right now they've got kind of like this Wipeout Cafe El Loco. It's like kind of like a fake El Loco Fresh. And then they'll install playmakers and some new suites. So a lot is going to be going into this ship later on this year. Crazy that all that's happening in 42 days. Like, I don't even can't even fathom how much work and how many people that's probably going to take, but super excited
I
to
know.
see.
I think I read that like each day there's like multiple check-ins just throughout, like one or two during the day, just to see where everything's at and all that. Because like you said, 14,000. That's a lot to do
Oh, yeah.
in just over a month.
All right, so we started this tradition of this or that because we needed some way to like make the preview episodes like a little more exciting. I'm not saying they're not exciting, but you're kind of anticipating a cruise. Obviously, getting back from the cruise is better. But Blake, since we've got you on, you're back on the podcast. Welcome back, by the way.
Thank you.
Last time, what was you remember the last time you came on this? What were we
so
talking?
last time I was on I was talking about Ireland,
Yes,
but that was like podcast number 7.
it was pretty early on. Yeah,
6, 7, something like
was
that.
it that
So
early? Was it?
It was early. It was early on.
So this is you're actually going on a cruise with us, so it's pretty exciting that you're on here. So you're going to be choosing this or that. So we're going to give you 2 options about Allure of the Seas, obviously, or cruising. Michael and I came up with these. So Michael, take us into it.
All right, Blake. So we're gonna go through your day on the cruise ship. So starting, you woke up, breakfast. Are you gonna be having breakfast in the Windjammer or Johnny Rockets?
The Windjammer.
All right. So you finished breakfast. Now you have some activities to do during the day. You're gonna go to the flow rider or the zip line.
Flow Rider.
That's good, yeah.
All right. This one, Frank wrote down the solarium pool or the main pool deck.
I don't know really well, I know the difference, but the solarium's a bit more laid back. I think with this being a boys' cruise, I'm going the pool deck.
All right.
That's a good one. And then neighborhoods on the ship. Are you gonna find yourself spending time in Central Park or the Promenade?
Central Park.
Yeah, good choice.
All right, so now you finish your activities for the day. You're getting ready for dinner. You're going to go grab a drink. Are you going to grab a drink at the Champagne Bar or the Rising Tides Bar?
I don't know the difference, but I'm going to go Rising Tide.
Rising Tide is the one that like actually lifts up. So you probably would enjoy that better.
And now are you going to dinner at Samba Grill or Sabor?
I'll go Sabor.
All right, and now for evening entertainment, are you going to watch Mamma Mia or the Aqua Show?
Both.
All right, that's fair. We are actually probably going to do both.
Yeah, both planned. Are you spending time in the Schooner Bar or the pub?
The pub.
And then last but not least, what theme party are you most excited for? White Night or Caribbean Night?
Caribbean.
All right, Blake. Well, those were some good answers. We can't wait to kind of see at the end of this what we end up doing on the cruise. Now, Frank, we all wrote down some questions we have for each other to kind of feel out this cruise. So do you want to start first?
Yeah, so we wrote down questions for each person. So I wrote 2 for Blake, 2 for Michael. I'll start with Michael's. So Michael, given that this is your 3rd time on an Oasis class ship, what activity or onboard feature are you most excited about on Allure that you haven't experienced yet? I'll give you a minute because I feel like you didn't get to see these questions in advance. You're just now hearing them for the first time. But yeah, what feature about Allure kind of stands out that you're more excited about versus, some of the other ships that you have, based on what you haven't done before, really?
Yeah, so to put this in perspective, I've done both Harmony of the Seas and Wonder of the Seas. So kind of a middle of the Oasis class ships, and then Wonder, which was the newest at the time. So I've done a lot of the newer stuff on the Oasis class ships. And obviously, like we said, this is an older ship, hasn't had many of the upgrades to it yet. But kind of going from Wonder, at the time there was no Broadway show on the ship. So I think if you're saying like, what does this ship have that some of the other ones didn't have, it's Mamma Mia. So I think I'm excited to see that show because Wonder still to this day doesn't have a full Broadway show.
Yeah.
They have some of their kind of effectors, right? Effectors 2, I think, is on that ship. And it's in the main theater and all that, but it's not like, and that wasn't even, they weren't even doing that show when we were sailing on it yet. I think that came a month or 2 later. So I think having a full, like I said, Broadway show on the ship, I'm excited to see.
All right, so coming to similar thought, right? So what new feature that's coming to Allure of the Seas do you think will make the biggest difference? Basically saying, if you could only take one of the amplifications, what would you choose over the others?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Obviously, on Wonder, I love Mason Jar, and I think for people my age that are into country music, it's great because you have the restaurant side of it where obviously I did brunch there, but they also do lunch and dinner there. And then, you have the bar side of it, which they have great drinks there. They have the country music trio in there playing. So for someone that likes country music, it's a great place to hang out in the evening. So I think for people our age, probably that. If you're talking more for like kids, they'll probably love the Ultimate Abyss or like the water slides being added to the ship.
Yeah.
And I always enjoy those as well.
It's going to be weird going on a cruise. Like, I can't remember the last time I went on a cruise and it did not have one water slide. I feel like that's going to be a big just a big difference, honestly.
I was about to say, I don't think I've been on a ship without a water slide.
Yeah.
Even like one of the oldest carnival ships I did at the time, the water slide ended in the main pool area.
Yeah,
Like that's how old that water slide
that
was.
just goes to show how much they really do need this revamp, honestly, and some of the upgrades. So now, Blake, my questions for Blake. Blake, this is how many cruises have you been on, just for context? Is this number 4?
So this will be cruise number 3.
Okay.
But my prior 2 were 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago exactly, over spring break and Christmas break. So both ships, I believe, are now retired that I sailed on. So, this one will by far be the biggest ship and the nicest ship that I've been on.
All right. So with that in mind, what neighborhood do you think you will enjoy the most? Central Park, Promenade, Boardwalk, or Entertainment Place? There's more, but I feel like those are kind of the key ones. I'm not going to put the spa and all that other stuff in there.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, as you said, I didn't see these questions ahead of time, but I am looking forward to Central Park. I don't know, just everything I've seen. I think the interesting thing of being in a space that emulates being outside, and live plants and trees and Central Park, is a really cool feature. I think it clearly shows that, they carried this over to Icon class. So Central Park is obviously a big hit I think I will enjoy it. And I think it shows that other guests are really enjoying that area as well.
Yeah. Can't imagine them building a ship now without Central Park. So even if they build a smaller ship, I feel like they'd have to do something outside like that just because kind of makes them royal. All right. So kind of on a different note, what drink are you most excited? You've heard us talk a lot about drinks on board and some of the drinks that we really like. If you had to say, you don't have to like name a drink because you probably don't know like the names of the drinks maybe, but what are you most excited about drinking with your drink package on Allure of the Seas?
Oh, that's tough. 2 come to mind though when you first asked that. The first of which is an espresso martini, which I believe that is a classic drink that most people on cruise. I think in general, an espresso martini is a very popular drink. And then my other would be an old fashioned or any spin on an old fashioned. I know there are specialties. There's peanut butter jelly. There's s'mores old fashions. They make them super fancy. But those are the 2 cocktails that I bet I will get my money's worth.
Just switching back and forth. All right, Blake, I know that you came up with a question for us, and we didn't give a lot of context, so I don't think this is related directly to Allure, but you had a question for us, so go ahead.
Yeah, so as Frank mentioned, not related to Allure, but as avid cruisers, if you could pick one itinerary to cruise on for the rest, this is the only itinerary you can cruise for the rest of your life on any cruise ship, what's the itinerary that you're picking?
Can I make it up, or does it have to be like a legitimate like sailed itinerary right now?
I'll let you make it up.
So if I was to choose one itinerary that I make up my own, right? Because I feel like, okay, you're only giving me like probably Eastern, Western, Alaska, so I'm going to make up my own. So I'll probably do like Puerto Rico and St. Martin, and then go across to the Western Caribbean and hit like Cozumel, and then go back up to Coco Cay. Or like Coco Cay, Puerto Rico, St. Martin, Cozumel. So I can get my tacos at Cozumel. I can do my water slides or whatever I want to do at Coco Cay. I can get some culture in Puerto Rico. I feel like you have a rainforest. You have, just good culture, right? Good food and everything in Puerto Rico. And then St. Martin, you've got beautiful beaches. You can do the snorkeling. You can do all that. So I feel like that to me is like the perfect, like if that was an itinerary, I would never get bored of it.
No, I think that covers all the bases of the Caribbean,
Yeah.
I think. But I think, Michael, to this point, you can only do, I'm going to tailor it a little bit now. You can only choose 4 ports.
I did choose 4 ports.
Exactly. So Michael can also only choose 4 ports.
Okay.
All right, so my mind originally was also kind of hitting up Puerto Rico, but I'm going to take it over to the Med because I loved the Med. So if I can choose 4 ports over there that I can go to, I would do La Spezia because that gets me the Cinque Terre, Florence, Pisa. You have a wide variety of places to go check there. I would actually make this cruise go down to Greece. I don't know how far away or common that is. I know it's typically like Med or Greek Isles, but 4 stops and however long, I'll go down to Greece, hit up whatever the top Greece port is. I don't know what it is. Frank, what was your favorite port in Greece?
Probably Mykonos.
Okay. Go to Mykonos. The next port I'm going to go to is the port that heads up the Amalfi Coast and Sorrento, because, I feel like those are other great places. I did a great tour of all those spots, and I feel like I could go back to any of those any day of the week. And then lastly, I would say Barcelona. My last cruise I did out of Rome, so I spent a lot of time in Rome already, and Rome's not too close to the port. It's about like an hour train ride, I think. Where Barcelona, you're pretty much right there at the city, and there's some great food there. There's a lot of tourist places to go see. So, overall, I hit up Barcelona, La Spezia, Greece, and the Amalfi Coast for my sailing.
I think it might be feasible actually in like an 8-night sailing, I would say, because it'd be a one-way. A lot of the cruises in Europe are one-ways. So you didn't put that in your thing. Like you could do a one-way cruise. And that's what Michael
just fly back over and over
every time.
Well, no, if I'm making the itinerary, we're ending back in Barcelona every time. So
okay, fine.
A bunch of sea days. All right, Blake, my questions for you. First off, what on Allure of the Seas excites you the most?
I think, and this is going to be vague, but I think going on this size class ship is really something I'm looking forward to. Simply because 10 years ago when I cruised, it was, I don't know, I think they were just so small. I had no comparison really when I was getting on those ships. So I think going on this size ship is something that I really look forward to, and all the activities that it has to offer.
And now to the other side of that, what do you think is going to be the most overrated thing on the ship?
I think the aqua show. Actually, no. I think maybe the figure skating, because they have an ice rink on this ship, right?
Yeah.
I think the figure skating. I don't know what the show is called, but
dude, that's a hot take.
Could be a hot take.
I'm excited to see what you think.
But we'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna have to like interview you after you watch it and be like, all right, Blake, what do you think about the ice show?
Just make sure I have a few drinks in me, and I'll give you my real honest opinion.
That's what we want, honesty. Well, Michael, Blake, thank you for the questions. I feel like that was kind of a fun way to introduce.
I have one quick question for you, Frank.
Oh, you have a question for me?
I do have a question for you.
Let's hear it.
With all the upgrades that we said are coming to the ship, so you had me pick what my favorite upgrade was going to be. If you had to keep one thing from Allure that couldn't be changed, what would it be?
I'm going to go with a cop-out answer, kind of, because I feel like it's Samba Grill is not going to be replaced by anything net new, right? Because it's currently in the Solarium Bistro area. So the nice thing is that I'm fine to keep that, and I don't really use that space a lot, honestly, like Solarium Bistro. So I actually am really excited about the other upgrades. I really couldn't choose the other. Like I couldn't give up the other one. So I think this is a good answer.
That's a good answer. I'm glad we had you think a little.
Yeah, I had to think about that one because that was really hard, honestly. All right, so we are going to now actually talk about the cruise Allure of the Seas, what we're planning on doing throughout each of the days, kind of an overview. We're not going to go too deep into it, but just a high-level overview. Before we do that, this is a big week. We dropped our first Icon of the Seas vlog. Apologies on the delay. We've been talking about that one for a very long time. But if you're a listener and you've been listening for a while, please go give us some love on YouTube. Make sure you click the like. Put a comment on there. Like, blow the comments up. My wife is like, she wants to cruise more, but she really doesn't want to cruise more. So if you make this video go viral, get a lot of likes, I can easily convince her to go on more cruises, which means more content, more vlogs, more podcasts. So please give it a like. But Blake, I want to know from you, what was your favorite part of the Icon of the Seas vlog? I saw a nice picture of you watching the vlog with Palmer this week. What did you think? What was your favorite part of the vlog?
Yeah, I don't know. Icon's just one of a kind, I feel, right now, from a ship perspective. So really, the tour, I know this is going to sound cliche, but I don't know. I feel like seeing somebody else on the ship, taking you went around to like all the different venues, just exploring, because was it your first time on the ship as well? Yeah, so I think it was just, well, you only released the first day.
Yeah, did a lot on the first day.
So from the first day vlog, I don't know. I just like checking out all the venues and kind of all the little neighborhoods that you went through and showing different, I guess, all the new features, really, that they've put on this one.
Sweet. Well, we are working on vlog day 2, so good segue. That'll be out in the next couple weeks, so make sure you subscribe, and we'll have that out there. One more quick thing. President's Cruise, we actually got some really exclusive rates through our agency. Some of these rooms are not even available on the Royal Caribbean website. So if you don't know what this is, the CEO is hosting a cruise September 22nd through 26th. There's a lot of freebies. They do like some really cool parties on the cruise, but also like I'm sure they're going to do a big party at Coco Cay as well. If you're interested, they also give away a bunch of stuff. So if you're interested in that, you want to go on, you're a Royal Caribbean fan, will be on Utopia this Sea September 22nd. Make sure you hit us up. We've got some really good prices there. Okay, getting into this cruise now. This was a casino comp. So I texted you because I had a free room. I think it was an interior. And then we were talking about it. I was like, what if we invite some of the other guys? So we invited Blake. We've got Ben. We've got Chris coming back. So it ended up being a big group of guys going down on a boys trip, like Blake mentioned, which I'm excited about. And we actually upgraded the room kind of because there was not a room for 3 and an inside. So they brought us up to the ocean view, but they didn't have any ocean view. So we actually got brought into a balcony, which is pretty sweet. So we've got the boardwalk balcony, which is pretty awesome. So hopefully without that slide, we'll be able to see a little bit of the ocean off the back.
Yeah, I'm just like, crazy things happen every time I cruise with you for some reason. We get bumped up rooms, we get drink packages refunded. It's like your little magic you have over there.
Dude, I don't know.
Royal.
Maybe they see my Frankie Cincotta and they get nervous and they're like, we got to start giving him some free stuff.
Oh, yeah. But so kind of like you said, jumping in though to the cruise. So we're flying in the night before. So 4 of us are going to be flying down from Charlotte to Miami. And then Chris will be, I think, taking the train, maybe the Bright Line from Orlando to Miami. So we'll be in the night before. He got us some rooms through the hotel company he works for. And then the next morning, we're going to go head over to the ship. You know, what's our check-in time, Frank? When are we going?
We have like a noon check-in time right now.
Okay, we may try and go a little earlier and see if we can get on. Because for Blake and Ben, like you said, Blake, this is y'all's first time on an Oasis class ship. And like we said, the ship's massive, so I can't wait to see how y'all respond right when you see this thing.
Yeah, what are we going to do when we get on board this thing? Are we going to like start top to bottom like Jason was talking about a few episodes back and just walk it? Or are we going to just head to the pool? Like, we're going to hit the shots? We're going to hit the bars? Like, what are we going to do?
I think we're probably going to have to go get a shot first, right, Blake?
Yeah, we're going to hit the bar right in the promenade.
The champagne bar, probably.
RIP after this cruise.
My last drink in the champagne. We should do like a last drink in the champagne bar, like ever, video for everyone to see. Because, I mean, there probably won't be many more drinks after us. There's only one cruise.
But, I have watched the layout video, so I don't think we need to waste time. Touring the whole ship. If you just watch the tours online, you should know what you're doing.
All right, so we're on the ship. We had our shot. We're kind of just getting this cruise started. We've dropped all our stuff off at our rooms. We've done the muster drill. We're setting sail now. We have the first evening, so we actually have the early time dining on this, which I think is about 5:30. So we're going to get dinner out of the way early each night to give, plenty of time in our evenings to go see some of the shows.
What's your take on this? You and I have talked about this a lot. Like, do you like the early time or do you prefer the late time?
So my preference is normally my time and kind of just mixing it around each day. But my last MSC cruise, I did have early, and I'd rather have early than late because I feel like once you have late, you can miss shows and a lot of that. So I think it's nice just to have early, get dinner out of the way. So like you said, you have these hours in the evening to go see the shows, go to comedy.
Plus for us, we're not traveling with any ladies. So it's like for us to get ready from the pool to being at dinner could be like a 35-minute ordeal if we're going quick.
Well, we don't know about Ben yet. He may be a little longer
he may
than
be.
that.
I don't know. I've never traveled with him, but no, that's a good point. So keep going with our plan. So dinner at 5:30.
Yeah, dinner 5:30. Then, like I said, go see some shows. Probably go grab some drinks either in the pub or the schooner bar, and then see where the night takes us after that. Whether it's some of the theme parties on the ships, the club in the evening,
the casino,
that 2 a.m. Sorrento's Pizza. We'll see where these nights. I know, but like we said, boys trip, so we're gonna make the most of these nights. All right, and then our first full day on the ship is gonna be in Nassau, which I think we're still trying to figure out what we're gonna do. I threw out some ideas today. I may be going solo. I don't know. I was looking
at what do you want to do in Nassau? How many times have you been in Nassau, and what's your perfect day in Nassau look like?
Well, I've only been to Nassau once, and it was fairly uneventful. I do recall it being my birthday. I think I ate a little. This was before the cruise port had been completely revamped. So I think we went through like the straw shop, the straw market. went to a little restaurant, got some of the spiciest mac and cheese I've ever eaten in my life, and then got back on the boat. It was fairly uneventful, and so I'm interested though to see what the cruise port looks like now. But to Michael's point, we don't really have anything planned, so who knows where we might end up.
Well, with or without y'all, I may go venture over to Potter's Cay. This is a new spot. Well, not new. It's been there for forever. But a new spot to me in Nassau. It's kind of on the bridge over to like the Atlantis, Paradise Island side. And they have a bunch of these food shacks along the river. And, a bunch of the local fishermen go out each morning, catch a bunch of fresh conch and other fresh seafood to, just make fresh food in these little shacks. And, one of my main goals for a bunch of cruise ports has always been to try and go and find like more of the local places that the locals eat at. Like I've done this in Rome. I did it in Cozumel on my last cruise. So I don't know. I've never really had any food in Nassau, really. Like I know a bunch around the port area is obviously a bunch of touristy places, and obviously they jack up prices there and all that. But I don't know. I'm excited to possibly, like I said, kind of go off the beaten path a little and kind of go eat where the locals eat.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm totally down. I think we'll just have to play it by ear too. There's a lot of factors, weather, all of that. We'll kind of just see how we're feeling too. I know we'll have the drinks flowing on the ship, so we'll just have to kind of weigh it in the moment. I feel like leaving Nassau open is good because those that are interested in getting off the ship to do something different can do it, and those that want to stay back can stay back. So the next day we're in Coco Cay. Blake, this will be your first time at Coco Cay. I think you went, on one of your first cruises, so you saw it back when you had to take a boat to get there, a tender boat. Are you excited about seeing the new private island?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it's new. It is the same island, but, it's definitely been revamped since I was there last. We are doing Hideaway, so looking forward to that. You and Michael have both hyped it up quite a bit, so we'll see if it lives up to the hype.
I think it's just it's an adult spot. I think you can get the kids anywhere. It'll be nice. The pool will be warm, which is really great for what we're going in January, so that'll be good for us to kind of be able to be in the pool, look out at the ocean. If you want to go for a polar plunge, you can do that and then get back in the pool. So that'll be nice.
One place I'm excited to kind of spend some time at too is the On the Rocks bar, which we did a lot for your bachelor. They had a pool table up there. They had the tabletop shuffleboard. You obviously have a live band there playing. And then there's a bunch of those little chairs that just face the ocean. You just watch the waves crash along the island.
It's a beautiful spot. I mean, no doubt, probably one of the most beautiful spots on the entire island. So I'm excited for that. I feel like I definitely am excited to do something different at Coco Cay. I've done a lot of Hideaway, but this will be good, I think, because it's your first time and Ben's first time. And even Chris said that he wanted to do it again. So
sort of my first time too.
Yeah, last time you were barely there.
But I say, last cruise, Coco Cay was our first day, and like we said, we had the drink package, and may have let it flow a little too heavy that first night.
Made the most of the drink package, didn't make the most of Hideaway. And then the last day of the cruise is a sea day, which is, I think it's good. I actually like this because it's time to kind of relax again, kind of, just enjoy the ship and kind of do what you need to do if you need to pack and get things ready. But it's a nice day to just kind of enjoy the ship, and I love that it's the last day. We always have the itinerary where Coco Cay is the last day, and I always go back and forth, like, do I like that? But I actually am really glad that Coco Cay is the second day, and then we've got that sea day, just kind of like chill, wake up kind of late, get brunch, enjoy the pools, and then just enjoy more of the activities on the ship. If the casino is good to us, we can go to the casino, and just kind of enjoy our last night. I feel like that's a good overview of everything we've got planned. We don't want to give away too much because we'll obviously do a recap of the cruise. But anything, Michael, Blake, that we left off in terms of what we're planning on? I'm so excited. It's literally all I'm thinking about at this point is getting on board.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to travel with y'all. And like I said, for you, Blake, Ben, who have never sailed a ship this big, there's a lot to it at the end of the day. And there's a lot more to the ships now than the last, like you said, it's been over a decade since you last cruised. So yeah, I think I'm just excited to kind of see how y'all respond to the ship.
Blake, thank you so much again for coming on and giving a quick preview of the Allure of the Seas cruise coming up. We're really excited again to cruise with you, and we look forward to hearing what your thoughts are when we get back.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Looking forward to the warm weather and getting away for a few days.
Well, with that, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Cruise Conversations podcast. If you're interested in booking a cruise, we can help you do that. We're travel agents. We have tons of clients. We'd love to help you book your next cruise, get the best price, and add some onboard credit as well. You can text us at 704-313-8556. You can send us an email at cruiseconversations@gmail.com. Thank you again. Make sure you check out YouTube and subscribe and check out the vlogs. With that, we'll see you back here next Wednesday.